But I came here because I want to share something very important for me personally. And let me check, because the clicker doesn't work. Maybe this way. Oh, this way it works. OK. So it's special personally for me because every 40 seconds, someone in the world gives up his life. And that's a problem, because before I finish my speech, 21 people will be gone forever. And that's actually the fact that 60% of them never tell anyone about their issues, about their struggles. But 40%, like these, post a photo on social media, very often asking for help, but they don't do it directly. They don't do it vocal. You are the one who needs to find out that something is going on. And bună dimineața. I'm Łukasz Bajsarowicz, and I'm in Magento for 7 years already. And that was a very, very tough way for me from the very beginning, because e-commerce ecosystem is very challenging. So from a junior boy at some random software house to a person who speaks during Meet Magento Romania, Meet Magento Florida, and Meet Magento India in 1 year, it was a really tough way. And it wasn't as colorful as it seems, because I watch the situation around us. I watch the ecosystem of Magento, and I also watch what is going on around us, because just in Romania, before COVID, so before all the mental issues caused by COVID, almost 2,000 people a year committed suicide. It's like 10 times as much as we have during this conference. So imagine that 10 hotels, Grand Italia hotels, are gone. And that's why I'm here. If you think that you don't know a person who had issues like I'm talking about, who had the mental issues, think about Avicii. Think about the Robin Williams, the comedian, known comedian. Think about Aaron Swartz. I wouldn't prepare this presentation without Aaron Swartz. He was a tech guy. He was one of architects of Creative Commons license. So these are people from different areas, not only musicians, not only technicians. Amy Bluewell, she was an advocate of mental health. And she was advocating mental health, and she committed suicide because she couldn't handle her depression. That's why I'm here. Because my story started with beautiful beginning. I've met a love of my life. I moved to a big city. I joined a small IT company focused around e-commerce, and everything seemed to be wonderful. Then I moved to corporation, great money, great projects. I worked with brands I never dreamed of, and then it started. Mobbing, escalating issues, problems with money. I wasn't able to understand what's going on. Why me? Then I moved on. I started to appear on conferences. I started to prove myself I'm worth something. And I moved to another agency. I thought like, okay, corporation is too toxic for me. I'm going to start again with small agency. And it worked for some time. Then break up, then problems with my health. And still I couldn't understand, like, why? Why me, God? Why you challenge me so much? And then I joined the most wonderful company in my life. After a breakup, I was just focused on my self-development. I joined Mediotype, the US company that changed a lot. And they were remote by default. So I felt like, okay, I belong here because these people are like family. They are around the globe. So wherever I go, I can meet someone from my team. It was great. But then we were acquired by a toxic corporation and we became a numbers again. I felt like home and someone just tear off my heart because one after another from that toxic environment, the people were gone. And I started to feel like, okay, I cannot catch the white rabbit. I'm not going to follow it. So I joined again. I went for a holiday. That was the app. I went for a sabbatical for more than a month in a travel. I traveled around the US. I visited my ex-friends from the previous small agency. And I decided, okay, now I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to join a small agency, but I'm going to just put like 50% of my time there and then focus on my small clients one after another. And what shocked me, I've met a great tech lead at some company, and one day, he was a great person, and he was really technically skilled. And one day, his account from Slack was gone. And I asked, like, why? Did he got fired? And they said, no, he's gone forever. So that made me think, like, okay, what if that was me? And that made me thinking. This was the crossing between 2021 and 2022. And in February, I've had some personal issues. And I decided to drop all the life I used to have. I decided, most of you who follow me on Twitter, you already know, I've spent 1 year in travel around Europe with a caravan, around the US, flying around. And actually, the thing is that I was looking for myself. And the problem is that in May last year, exactly 1 year ago, I got through a breakdown. I woke up at noon. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to do anything with my life. I felt like, okay, I failed. I failed. I cannot make it. I'm just giving up. And for some reason, I felt like the last spark in my heart that, okay, I need to visit a psychiatrist. I need to talk with a specialist about it. And I went to the emergency, to the psychiatrist emergency. And I was lucky enough, I've met a wonderful person who gave me a prescription, which was like 20% of the solution, and great psychotherapist. That was 80% of my solution. My prescription was for 2 months. I took only 6 weeks of pills, and I recovered with a psychotherapist, working every single week, 50 minutes, very hard. It was like the waterfalls of crying, but it worked. And that's why I'm spreading the word here today, because I was on this question mark, and I'm here to spread the word. So if you wake up early or late, and you think like, okay, I feel like something is wrong. I don't want to live, or I'm not satisfied with what I do, or you just don't have joy out of what used to be fun for you, that's definitely a place where you should think about it. And when you think about it, you can scan the QR code, you can later watch the video on YouTube and then open the link. It's back depression inventory. That's the first step you should take. It's a self-assessment survey that helps you to identify if you have problems with depression. And if you are over half, if I remember scoring correctly, it's like if you are over 50%, it's the time when you need to go to someone to cancel you. The second thing, if you are over 30% in a previous survey, you need to make, or you should, you don't need, you should take the CESD scale. If you are already diagnosed with depression, this gives you how the depression strong is. And now, I want you as developers to know that if you are a waiter and you break your leg, you don't go to work. If you have problems with your mind, you also shouldn't go to work. It's your tool of work. And if you don't let it rest, you don't recover. So please don't take the words of your managers, the words of the company owners or HR team that, hey, if you take the sick leave, you are going to lose your annual bonus. Don't give about the bonus. Give about your mental health. Get rest. Go to the psychiatrist. Ask for the sick leave. You are entitled to up to 6 months of sick leave for the mental recovery. It's guaranteed by law. Common issues that you can recognize in your life are issues with motivation. So, for example, if you are self-driven, if you are a very active person, very social person, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you lose all the joy of doing things, that might be an indicator. Second, sleep. When I got through my issues with mental health, I could sleep all day, like 18 hours a day, and the remaining 6 lying in bed. Some people cannot sleep at all. So it's not like there is one or another. Both way is wrong. Third, eating. You can eat a lot, you can not eat at all, and both way might be related to mental issues because your brain doesn't work as it should. And last but not least, if your boss, and that's the life story, if your boss comes to you saying, oh, I saw that you put the notice you want to leave, but you know, it's COVID. So where would you find a job after the project you are trying to join? You are worth nothing. You are just a piece of... And if you agree with your boss, it means that, okay, you are not assertive enough. You definitely have some issues with self-esteem. So that's why if you answer yes to one of these issues, it's not a brainer, but if you answer yes at least twice, I strongly, from the bottom of my heart, strongly recommend you to visiting at least once a year a psychotherapist, a life coach. Because you can help yourself, and the first step is to go to the psychotherapist. If it doesn't work, if you need some fuel, you should go you should use the medical treatment. And it's, I don't know why, but there is a stigma around medicines that if you use medicines, it means that you are nuts. No, it's not true. Medicines are like booster, like when your battery in your car is gone, you can connect booster, and it helps you to restart. And you can use it once or twice. And then you can run by yourself. So that's what the medicines are. That's why you should take an advantage of it. Because it's a huge helper. It's a huge booster. And as I've mentioned before, take the sick leave. That's provided by law. I'm sorry. Too much water or too much stress. I provided also phone numbers. If you feel, or if any of your friends, colleagues, parents, or children are encountering some issues, please take a picture, post on your social media. Please follow the deprehub.ro for Romania. And please, please, please be aware and make your friends aware. Make people around you aware. But that's not over yet. So I need to keep you for 10 more minutes because we spoke about what you can do outside. But what you can do inside, what you can do for yourself on a daily basis, even if you are not affected. First, build communities. One of the things that helped me the most was to have people around me, the people who called me on Friday afternoon asking, hey, Łukasz, what are you doing? And I was just, I didn't want to leave, so nothing. Okay, we are waiting on a cafe near Rondo Dmowskiego in Warsaw for you. And that was like 20 minutes by tram for me. I was like, I don't want to go. And they said, okay, so we are 6. We are going to come to you. Okay, not really. Okay, I'm going to join you. And one after another, it worked. This kind of community was perfect. Then one of my friends gone really bad, and we helped him. So we were helping each other. The second one, physical activity. Do you know app 7, like the number 7? It gives you 7 minutes of exercise a day, just 7 minutes. And the feeling of achievement after these 7 minutes, when you're dying, when you're just soaking wet, you're like, I done it. I did it. Yeah. So that's one of the boosters that you can have for free with online app. Third one, little achievements. Last year, I started doing Duolingo, and now it's my 180th day. And you know what? It works. Before starting with this difficult Magento, before starting with these stupid projects where someone broke something, that was probably me 2 years ago, I do a little achievement, like extending my streak in Duolingo by 1 more day. And this way, my brain has the shot of dopamine, and it's like, okay, I can do anything. Like, I've done 180 days, so I can make my work too. I started to learn ukulele, so this little guitar from Hawaii. And after a month, I can play simple melodies. And I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. My brain is much more efficient right now because it's happy to have new skill, to learn, to activate different parts of my brain. Mindfulness, that's something I haven't got deep enough. I do it once a month, and I go to the singing bowls sessions, and you lie on the ground for like 2 hours listening to the bowls that are quite weird, because instead of hearing them by ears, you hear them by the whole body. It feels like someone is putting the drill in you and just shaking your body. I strongly recommend. You come with so many great ideas during that time. That's so impressive. Any yoga sessions or any sky yoga, or how you call it, with these straps from the roof, and you lie on it. All of these give you completely different feeling, completely different experience. I strongly recommend, because you don't think about Magento, you think how to not break my back falling from this something. Last but not least, and that's why I'm here, speak up. Last year in June, just after my breakdown, I've had an interview, a podcast with Joseph Maxwell, and I spoke about my issues. you can't imagine, actually I could provide a screenshot, like my Twitter private messages from top to the bottom where I had the same. So maybe you think you are the only one who has this kind of issues or who has the dots, but at the end of the day, 80% of people around you have mental issues. And why I say 80%? Because 1 out of 8 people in the world have mental issues. IT developers are 56% more likely to have mental issues. So I think that in developing countries, highly exploited, we are even higher. And of course, I invited managers here, but it's technical track, I understand. I invited them because they can say, hey, that's none of my business. If they give up, I will hire another one. Okay, but every dollar invested in escalating into scaling up treatment for depression and anxiety leads to $4 of return. Tell me about any other investment in the world that gives you such great revenue. We don't count, of course, crypto, because they are down right now. But come on, $1 turns into $4. Just helping your employees, helping your developers to get through this. And I don't know about better investment. So, of course, you don't need money. Like, it's not necessary to throw money into people and asking for result. What you can do, you can just look around and see changes in behavior, because your employee, your colleague can come to work 1 second, third day in a row, completely different. He was always talkative, now he doesn't talk. Or he was never talkative, now he talks a lot. So you can talk to them and say, hey, I see that something changed. Are you all right? But people will always answer, yes, I'm fine. Instead, what I do is, hey, Artur, if you feel you need to talk, we don't need to talk in the office. You can call me anytime. I'm here to talk, and you can tell me anything. We are not only colleagues, but we are also friends. We are human. So if you need to talk, I'm here. And that works a little bit better, because you don't push them. You just leave the door open. Just like with children. If you leave the door open to your bedroom, they will come if they are scared in the night. Last but not least, every single person is different. And saying that, some of you are extroverts, some of you are introverts, some of you are ambiverts. So after this conference, when you talk with everyone, you will have to have a week of time for your own. And it's normal. But as a manager, project manager, tech lead, owner of the company, or just a developer, remember to recognize them and to encourage their personal skills, personal traits. And I personally love 16 personalities, because this gives you for free, this gives you a huge amount of information about every single person around you. It gives you an information if someone is introvert, extrovert, if he is goal-oriented, or if he is process-oriented. And imagine, hey, as a manager, if I have a guy who is introvert and process-oriented, he's great for maintenance. But I have some architects, for example, and the architect is talkative. He is always looking for new solutions. So putting him in maintenance of all the website, all the Magento 1 website, he would be really upset with that. And he either leaves your company or runs into some issues, like, why they put me on this crap? Why I have to work with this? And he does not enjoy that. So you need to understand people around you. You need to use their personal traits. That avoids burnout. That avoids depression based on the work environment, toxic work environment. It helps when you throw money into employees, of course. And the first and the most common recently I noticed are that Polish companies, at least, I'm contracting, helping them, they started to offer, instead of multi-sport, which is the gym packages, instead of some lunch menus, lunch cards, they offer supplement to the treatment of with the life coach, with the psychotherapist. So you pay 25% and the company pays 75%. Some of the companies are introducing internal coach, but I personally don't like it because I would be afraid that it sinks into organization. I'd prefer to go outside to someone independent. Second thing, invest into ensuring work-life balance. I know, I guess 50% of you work over hours, work during the weekends. So your managers should take care about your personal time, because during the weekend you should spend time with your friends, you should spend time with your family and build your healthy life, not spending that at work. And even worse, I've been to that kind of company. Friday, 8 p.m., call from the company. The production is down. You need to do something. And come on, it's Friday, 8 p.m. I'm on the way to the cinema. I don't have my laptop on me. So go back, I will pay you. Really? So how many marriages were broken because of that? Yeah. I have hands up, so yeah, so it must be a high score. Last but not least, but a little bit of water now without craving. Last but not least is about bottom up. I love that. I worked with the company. I contracted for the company in Krakow. I visited them twice a week, and they were there were employees that worked in the same project with me. I wasn't an employee, so I wasn't full-time or fully eligible employee. But imagine that these guys from the team came to me saying, hey, what time you plan to finish? And I say 6 p.m. And they were like, okay, we finish at 5, but we will wait for you, and we will take you somewhere. And then week after week, they invited me to tabletop games in the town. And at some point, the management of the company realized, hey, they are going week after week to play tabletop. And one of the managers came to us, gave the card to the girl in our team and said, here is the credit card. When you go together, always use it. And that was wow. So they supported bottom-up initiative. They helped to use something that was organically created. I strongly encourage managers, I strongly encourage HRs to, instead of pushing everyone to integration events, just support the events that are already there from the bottom. And that's it for now, but it's not the over of this subject. This is just the beginning. I will be here, I will be around till tomorrow. So whenever you want to talk, whenever you want to discuss how you can make a change, I'm here. I'm also on Twitter, I'm also on Instagram, and wherever you like, please reach out to me and please spread the word. The presentation will be soon online, so send it through to your managers saying, man, you should see it. Thank you very much. And I have 3 beautiful mugs from SwiftOtter with, really challenging Otter. So 3 first questions come with the mug.
Perfect. So thank you very much for delivering this talk. It was very good. Here in Romania, and I suspect it's similar in Poland, mental health is a bit of a taboo subject, so it's very good to have you on stage and speak so openly about it. Thank you very much. Now let's get to questions.
Hello, my name is Christian. Isn't social media bad for you? As you said, sharing everything that you said in this presentation. For example, it seems that you're a bit angry on Twitter, especially with developers. And I was on the receiving end of one of your tweets, so...
Okay, so yeah, that was why in my bio for this conference was like, I'm sharp on the edges sometimes. It's a part of my problem. I'm working with life coach, but still sometimes I'm quite emotional about work, especially when when it's during my overtime. So when it's Sunday and someone calls me like they go. The site goes offline, and I'm the firefighter to fix it, although I'm doing something completely different. Then I get emotional. So yeah, social media is answering your question. Social media is wrong because actually instead of calming down and finishing the stuff and calming down to recover, I also make this mistake. I use social media to amplify my emotions, and and it's bad. It's bad, but sometimes you cannot help. It's still better than Roy probably remembers me in 2019 when I was Magento maintainer, when I was Magento contributor. That was much more difficult to stay away from social media when I was upset with something. So now it's way better.
As sometimes it's not my thing to do. And for example, that tweet was for something that I did a very long time ago.
I don't remember, but yeah, we can talk about it later and and cover that.
Okay, maybe for social media, try LinkedIn instead of Twitter. They're much friendlier there. Okay. Other questions? Yes.
So the first mug is yours.
Hi, yeah, I'm Tibi. So you did mention that mental health can be affected by, unclear working hours, overtime. Mm-hmm. Any tips on how to set clear boundaries, in the, let's say, regarding work-life balance in a work environment? Yeah, thanks. That's the question.
So could you rephrase the question? Because I'm not sure if I follow.
Sure. Well, my bad then. Do you have any tips about how to set better boundaries regarding work-life balance?
Yes, so actually how I resolved that in one case, I still haven't resolved all the issues I have with my clients, but how I set the boundaries with one of the clients was actually to say that for every emergency case during the weekends, during the holidays, bank holidays, I can either charge you twice or take 2 hours during the week off. So this way, if I need to sacrifice some of my family time, some of my friends' time, then I can use the opportunity, for example, to let's use the example. On Monday, I can take the whole day off because I was working 3 hours on Sunday. And this way I can, I can catch up on my plans. It's not always possible. It's not always like the first Monday or the first Friday after the occurrence can be used. But you need to remember that your family time is the special time. Your friends' time is a special time because we are animals. Yes, humans are animals, and we are social animals. So we don't need only the numbers. We don't need only the keyboard. We need people around us. And it doesn't matter if it's your family, if these are your friends, or if these are geeks that play Warhammer 18 hours with you during the weekend. You need to have this time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Thank you. Any other questions?
The third mug is to be taken, the last one.
Then maybe a tip from someone who does a bit of management, myself. Inside teams, try to take turns in who's on call for these types of emergencies. Don't always rely on a single person to be available and carry his laptop and sacrifice his weekends if needed. Yes, and I can add up to it. Sometimes companies are trying to save on employees, like the project has 3 developers, and all of them work over hours, which means that your management is wrong, and according to the law, the over hours should be paid more. If you are a contractor, of course, you have no rights, but still, it is a clear sign that the management does something wrong, and they should either reconsider the scope of the project with a client or hire another employee or contractor to load the work among the team better. Okay, thank you. Okay, so third mug is yours. Thank you. So if there are no other questions, then thank you, Łukasz, for your talk. And thank you.